Now here's a question for you. Like if you were to fix season 5, and you knew that look you're gonna send Jamie to Dorne, like on that principle, like we're still gonna send Jamie and Bronn to Dorne. How would you have like really like incorporated a Feast for Crows? Like what would you have done differently?
So what I would do is I would have Jamie take Balon Swan's storyline in the sense that he's there to retrieve Marcella. He's also there to deliver the head of the mountain. But the outlining story, like the Martell story, is that they gotta stop him. They have to stop him, right? And he tries to go the normal route to get to Dorne, to the Sun Spear or the Water Gardens. Jamie tries to go the normal route, and upon his first visit to the first location, someone tries to kill him. So he goes off the sneak. They're still trying to kill him. Throughout the entire time, Jamie and Bronn are avoiding traps, is what I would do. And at the same time, they're also visiting Dorne, seeing this, seeing that. They have like a special guide, like that's a television exclusive character. But I would have Arianne in there. No Ilaria, please. I would have Arianne trying to kill Jamie to start war between this, and this. And yeah, I would basically do Jamie's storyline in season 5 as Balon Swan and Eris Oakheart minus the Arianne fucking. And yeah, like because Eris Oakheart he does get with Arianne, right?
Yeah.
I would have that happen. Maybe have Bronn in there, of course, and maybe another show only character, and kind of have them exploring Dorne. I don't know, like the one thing I really enjoy about Thrones is the world building, the practical effects, these locations. I would probably have stuff like that. Have the Sand Snakes be Arianne's like personal assassins and shit. Give them stuff to do instead of just one shitty fight scene.
And that would have been fun. Like had say season 5 was rather than that necklace thing, like they say, okay, we've gotta deliver the head of the mountain to Dorne. They send Jamie instead of Balon Swan and Bronn with the skull. They have a little snarky talk like scene when they're traveling down there. Then they have a banquet. You get introduced to the Sand Snakes at the banquet. They're all really rude to Jamie. They create that little tension.
They don't give him a toast. I remember that one part.
They don't give Jamie a toast.
Yeah.
And then as he goes to find Marcella, they find out that a surprise to him, he finds that her ear has been cut off, and they tell him that he has to go catch this guy Darkstar. And then you can have like an action thing where they send him off to try to find Darkstar and deal with that. And then,
but the reason I would include Darkstar in the show, a lot of people wanted Darkstar there. The reason I would have included him in the show is because we don't know how Balon Swan and Darkstar, how that storyline will end, and I don't think there's going to be like a Balon Swan chapter that focuses on him hunting down Darkstar. That's why I would add it.
Ario Hota is going to be on that trip. Ario Hota is going with Balon Swan and Obar.
He's also another motherfucker I really wanted to see in action.
Oh yeah.
The reason I wanted to see him in action is because he's where's he from? He's from
Norvos.
He's a Norvosi priest, and they have their own fighting style. And I was talking about this with another subscriber of mine. I love the scene from season 5, episode 9, where they're in the Colosseum, the Daznak pit, is it? And all the different fighting styles. I love that, and I want to see more of the Norvosi priest fighting style with the staff and the spears.
Yeah, that'd be really
fun,
yeah.
I really wanted to see Ario Hoda do more than just kind of fake Jamie out and go, when you were whole, this would have been a good fight. Like that's all he did. That's all he did. He's just another paper tiger because he looks intimidating, and then Tyene Sand beats the shit out of him with one strike. So
okay, you could remove Darkstar, have them go down to the dinner, They get insulted at the dinner. He goes to...
Well, I wouldn't do the dinner first. I would have Jaime and Bronn take the mountain's head and journey down to the water gardens to bring it to Doran. And while Arya, Hoda, and Doran are discussing Jaime's journey, Arianne overhears this and uses the Sand Snakes as her own personal assassins and has them, try to kill Jaime every time he reaches a town or camps out. Like, Season 5 for me, in terms of Jaime, will be him and Bronn exploring Dorne and evading assassination attempts.
What would be kind of weird is if they go down, they get attacked by the sand snakes on the way down, and then they arrive at the dinner, and the sand snakes are all there at the dinner.
Yes, that's exactly what I would have done. I've also would have done, like, Jaime stops by, like a town in Dorne, and he stops by, like, a village, and he goes in an inn, and he rents a room, and they do that one thing where they put the red scorpions on a canopy.
Yeah.
And then Jaime, like, he notices something's off and he fucking gets off the bed and the red scorpions come down. Like, that would be a nice callback to, like, the history of the, of people coming to Dorne and getting fucked up by, like, scorpions and poisons and shit.
Because
so I would have stuff like that.
We wanted a buddy adventure with him and Bronn, but they didn't really have a buddy adventure. They just had...
They kind of did.
They arrived on a beach. They had a fight, and then they got arrested, and then they had, and they're in the jail cells, and then they go home.
It was very poorly thought out. Like, I feel like the only reason that they even had to send Jaime to Dorne was to get him out of King's Landing so Cersei could get arrested. Yeah. They needed something for Jaime to do.
But I think that's a pretty good fun story. Like they begin their trip down. They get attacked by the sand snakes. They
don't know it's the sand snakes yet. It's these random assassins trying to kill them. And Arianne is the one instructing them, and they finally reach their destination.
I understand why they used Ilaria, because they want to reuse characters. So I can still have it. We could still have it be Ilaria.
But if you think about it, though, what doesn't make any sense is no fucking lord in Game of Thrones in the show. There's only maybe one lord, Jon Arryn. No lord has only one kid.
Yeah, okay.
A lot of the lords have multiple children. Balon Greyjoy, Theon and Asha, and the other two that died in the rebellion. Ned Stark, Tywin Lannister, Mace Tyrell. They all have multiple kids. Stannis would have multiple kids, but we saw the reason for that. The reason Dorne and the House Martell are so poorly written is because Doran only has one child.
Yeah.
Why? Like, how? That's why I would include Arianne instead of Ilaria. So they come down and they're trying to bring the skull.
They get the attacks. They go to the dinner.
And they go there, and then Doran does the same shit, except one of the Sand Snakes, or maybe Ilaria, she's still pissed off. She says, "I will not break bread with the land," and then she does the same. I would include the same thing that happened in season 5, episode 9 or 10, where she, throws the wine down, and he grabs her arm. That's a great scene in the show, by the way. He grabs her arm. In my house, you don't disrespect me like that. Like, I would have him do that. Then what I would do is, and you're gonna love this shit. What I would do is, after Jaime and Marcella leave, we get the scene with Doran, Ilaria, the Sand Snakes, and include Arianne, and he tells them and the audience that he's been working against the Lannisters the entire time. He has been planning their downfall for a long time, and it was him who sent that threat to Cersei. Because I'd still include the Viper and the Necklace threat Cersei receives in the first episode of season 5, but instead of Ilaria sending it, he sent it. Cersei doesn't know it's Doran, but she knows they're pissed off, so she has Qyburn remove the mountain's head. And, since he confessed during the fight with Oberyn, it would give Jaime's trip more of a sense of urgency and importance. But that would be like the big Doran reveal, because throughout the entire season, he's been like this pacifist, but he's the one who sent the threat.
Sent by Doran. Dun dun dun. Yeah.
Like, I would have Ilaria or Arianne going like, "We did not send that threat. We did not send that threat. I only found out they were coming because I overheard you." And he goes, "I know. I sent the threat." And then he reveals his plan to have Trystane really marry, and Arianne marry, Viserys, and Trystane marry Dany.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, absolutely. And then you'd have when Dany arrived, she would have a reason to actually have an alliance with Dorne, because they think that a Trystane Dany marriage is coming. Man, if only we were on the writing team.
Not only that, but in my version of fixing Dorne, if Doran was secretly against the Lannisters and wanted war, then it would explain why he let Ilaria attend the farewell trip at the end of Season 5 when she kisses Marcella and poisons her. Because the show makes no sense here. Why would he let her attend the ship's departure after she tried to have Marcella killed? Even if Ilaria apologized for it, keep her away. It was just dumb.
No, it's...
It does, but if he did it my way, it would have made more sense.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah.
I would have also liked to include Quentin, as because I want that race. I feel like season 5 and 6, well, season 5 should have been a race between the Kraken, the Sun's Son, and the Bear and the Lion. That would have been great. Who could get to Dany first? And then when they finally get there, episode 10, season 5, episode 10, they finally all of them arrive. Well, not all of them. The Kraken is taking his time.
And what would be cool is you could have scenes back and forth the different ships, and you don't know which one's in the lead.
Exactly. And then when they finally arrive, Quentin gets there first. Dany's not there. Then Tyrion gets there. Dany's not there. And Victarion's on his way. But then he encounters Mokoro. And then Mokoro, the last thing we see with Victarion is Mokoro telling Victarion, "Yeah, I'm on my way to see Dany as well."
One of my favorite parts of that is Mokoro getting blown off Tyrion's ship and arriving on Victarion's ship. Like that's a great little fun thing, connecting the plots.
And you know what's annoying? Like in season 6, we had that red woman.
Yeah.
And she only appears once, and that's it. So instead of Mokoro, we could have that red woman.
Yeah, why not? Use that red woman. That's fine.
Exactly. Like, she shows up with Victarion in season 6, blah, blah, blah. All that shit. So, that's what I would have done if I was in charge of the writing team.
Oh, man. That would have been so much better.
Because what
you could reuse the same sets too, because like every ship looks the same, like them being on one ship, and then you just move everybody off and everybody going on put up a different sail, different ship. It'd be so easy, so cheap, just one fucking ship, one set. Oh God.
I don't want to be egotistical here and toot my own horn, but I feel like that would have been better. Like maybe have a race, like because we haven't had a race. It would have been a different narrative to do, and Quentin being there and then ultimately getting his ass burned by one of Dany's dragons really would have put would have thrown a monkey wrench into Doran's plan of having him marry Dany, and Doran not knowing that Viserys is dead. Like the audience would know, but they would not know. So
one of the best chapters of A Dance with Dragons is the Dragon Tamer chapter. Just the excitement of going down and trying to steal that dragon and everything. The tension there. It would have been the most fun that one could have. Instead, we have a lot of scenes of Tyrion telling jokes to Missandei and Grey Worm. My biggest thing about season 5 is I would have ended with the Kingsmoot. Like, I would have ended with that, like, a brilliant, like, Euron making that speech about how he's gonna take everybody to Slaver's Bay for a dragon, and that would have just been.
I agree with you. But if they were gonna do a Kingsmoot and to end season 5, they had to include the dragon horn. They have to make it more of a spectacle. Like, I don't want just like 20 guys in a circle. That's stupid. I don't want that.
20. That's the thing, is with 20 guys hanging on a cliff, hanging out on a cliff. Like, had they done it, and they didn't even need the dragon horn, but had he done like a really inspirational speech to end season and like have a pan out of like
an inspirational speech. This is the Game of Thrones writing staff. Bad pussy. I don't know. I really feel like the dragon horn will do it. But go ahead.
I mean, okay. Maybe he doesn't have to blow the dragon horn, but he like pulls out this dragon horn from nowhere. And he's like, and I've got this horn, and we're gonna capture some dragons, and then and then everybody cheers, and you pan out, and it's like thousands of Ironborn cheering for Euron, like.
Well, you can't close the season like this. I feel like that should have been one of the openings, because you can't have that race in season 5 without Euron.
Well, that's what I'm saying. I would have the race be season 6. You
really think season 6?
Yeah, why
That
not?
would require season 7 to have full 10 episodes. I don't think they want to do it. I really do think there is this. I was gonna make a video on this, but I'll talk to you about it. I'm sure you can kind of understand. Like you're an older guy. You've seen a lot of television shows in your life, and you've seen a lot of shitty shows.
Even
that
back in
started
the
off-
day with the radio and the telegraph machine.
I'm sure you've seen a lot of like shitty shows that started out great and then started to pan out and fade out.
Oh, like Battlestar, man.
Battlestar. For me, it was True Blood. Like me and my ex.
True Blood's a great example. Oh,
we
man.
loved the first 3 seasons of True Blood, and season 4 came and everything was awful. I started going downhill, but I feel like Game of Thrones is suffering from franchise fatigue. But I will say this, because you don't play games, I do. A lot of people are starting to get annoyed with this game called Call of Duty, and you know Call of Duty, right?
Yeah.
And
First-person shooter.
Yeah, people really like the latest Call of Duty Infinite Warfare. Everybody was like annoyed with it because it's like, oh, another jetpack shooter with like set in space. What else is new? People are really starting to get sick of Call of Duty because it's the same shit over and over again. Franchise fatigue. Same. It happened with Assassin's Creed. It's happening with a lot of franchises now. I feel like what's happening with Game of Thrones is franchise fatigue, but not for the fans, for the people making it.
Oh yeah, I mean, do something for 7 years, you're gonna be sick of it, and they're putting. I mean, it's hard work. I'm not as much as we make fun of it. You know that these guys are putting in fucking long hours, like trying to make this thing. I mean, they're essentially producing 10 movies a year, or 7 movies a year. That's still freaking hard. So they're tired. D&D are fucking tired.
Like I said, I think it's just franchise fatigue. For the creators, because they don't want to do the same thing every year. Like I remember with True Blood, I remember the guy who made True Blood. He also worked on Banshee.
Yeah.
I remember the guy who made True Blood. He said like I'm kind of over it. I'm kind of sick of it. By season 4, he left.
Yeah.
So, I mean, would I like a new showrunner? No. Would I like would I like the show to extend to like 20 seasons like The Walking Dead? No. But I would like them to like take their time. I don't mind them taking a year off to do something. I wouldn't mind.
That makes sense.
I wouldn't mind like a pause between season 5 and 6.
Like what they do with Sherlock, and where it's kind of fresh. They take like.
I've never seen Sherlock, but the one show I know they did this with was Spartacus. After season 1 of Spartacus, they did like the season 0 type thing. And I really do feel like if the show had more episodes and more time to make these episodes, then it would be better. We would have more of these like great storylines and plot devices for characters to use and go after. But it is what it is. Hopefully in like 100 years they'll redo this, and hopefully we're alive to see it.